Good morning. I'm meteorologist Dave Epstein. It's Sunday, the 22nd of February. Let's get to the weather wisdom for today. Obviously, with the big storm coming, we're doing a Sunday edition of this. So, we have a major nor'easter slash blizzard on the way. There's no question about that. As I said on social media, I think one of the cool things about this is that in a world where it seems like nobody agrees on anything, we're all going to go through this. So everybody in Eastern Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Cape, Islands, New York City, there's like millions of us going through this experience of a storm. It's not an unprecedented storm. It's not going to bring anything we haven't seen before at all. As a matter of fact, there's been worse storms. This is not the worst storm, but it is an intense storm. There's no question. And as the pressure falls in this storm in what we call bombogenesis, which is a fancy word for the pressure dropping in a storm a millibar an hour at least for 24 hours. So the pressure this morning is about 1,003 millibars. It's going to go down to about 969, 968 millibars. So we're going to have a 32, 33, 34 millibar drop here in a day. That's way over the criteria for bombogenesis. And all of that intensification allows the air to rise in the middle of that storm. And you can't have air just leaving the planet as it's going up, creating the clouds and the snow. So air has to rush in to replace that rising air. So picture the center of the storm, the air just rising up. And all that wind is the air rushing back in. So when you experience the wind tomorrow, you're going to be experiencing the planet's attempt to balance things back out again. That's what's happening tomorrow. So all that wind and the power outages that we get from that wind is because of the intensification of this storm. The snow's going to arrive overnight tonight when most of you are sleeping, and tomorrow morning it's going to snow really hard. We're going to see rates of 1 to 3, maybe 4 inches an hour in isolated spots, and it's not going to surprise me if we hear the rumble of thunder. And in the thunder snow, you can get many inches in a very short amount of time. I've seen, 9 inches in 3 hours, and that's a lot of snow to come down. And with the heavy wind, that's one of the reasons why we're going to see the power outages. Also, the storm starts tomorrow or late tonight. It's a little bit mild, and there may even be some rain mixed in along the coastline, especially south of Boston, and that heavy wet snow is going to stick. And then when the winds get going, that's why those power outages, one of the reasons why we're going to start seeing some of those power outages. The heaviest snow is going to fall between about 5 a.m. and about 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then it'll start to kind of lighten up. And what we'll see on the radar is we'll start to see bands rotating through. So you'll get a gap, and then you'll get a heavy band, and then you'll get a gap and a heavy band. And that will continue up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And then we'll see the final band start to move through 5 to 8 p.m. tomorrow. So that's kind of the way the snow falls. So how much are you going to get? It's basically 12 to 24 inches from probably 20 miles west of 495 all the way to the coast, with the exception of Nantucket where they're 4 to 8, and maybe parts of the Outer Cape where it's more 6 to 12. So who's going to get the sort of 18 to 24? It's most likely Rhode Island and southern interior southeast Massachusetts, maybe right to the coastline. It could be into Boston, and it could be up outer tip of Cape Ann. So that, if you can kind of picture that area. So again, it's basically a 1 to 2 footer, and some areas will get close to the 2 feet, but it's not going to be everybody's going to end up with 2 feet of snow. That's not going to happen. But there'll be areas that do. The blizzard warning is in effect along the coastline because we are expecting winds to be sustained of 35 miles an hour and knock the visibility down with the snow to quarter mile or less. And as that happens, it creates blizzard conditions. And so roads are going to be pretty impassable here, especially the first half of tomorrow. I think it's still going to be treacherous tomorrow evening, but it'll be better. It'll be like if you need to get out, you'll be able to, I would say, after 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, as long as the roads get kind of cleared enough for you. And some people will be out, but I would not, under any circumstances, be driving tomorrow morning if you're in eastern Massachusetts. If you're further west, you might be okay. But where the snow is coming down so hard, I would not be doing that. It's a nor'easter with a blizzard warning. A nor'easter is a storm that moves up the coast, brings northeasterly winds to us. Temperatures, again, 30s tomorrow, then to the 20s, and we'll stay in the 20s during the overnight hours on Monday, maybe some teens, and then back up into the 30s on Tuesday with sunshine. And we're going to see a little bit of melting. There might be another weather system moving in. I don't want to use the word storm. Weather system moving in sometime on Wednesday. We'll see whether or not that happens. I'll be updating on all social media platforms throughout the storm. You can find me there if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. And again, it's a major snowstorm. We've been through it before, and it will melt, and spring will arrive. Have a great Sunday, everybody.